What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Hopefully you all had a great Father's Day, or just a great day in general if you didn't get to spend it with your dad. I went to the beach earlier today, so I apologize for a late upload. I wasn't even expecting on uploading, but I'm just going to go ahead and record this real quick and edit while I'm watching Game 7 tonight. I'm on like a 3 or 4 week upload streak right now, and I really didn't want to break that, so here we are today with another Clash Royale video. And today I'm going to teach you guys a few little tips and tricks to help you improve your Clash Royale game. So in this first replay here, we're going up against somebody from an Asian clan that I don't know how to pronounce. We are both level 10s here, however I am using the Hog Rider deck and he is using a Lava Hound. I don't really run into much of these up here in the Legendary Arena. Not many people use the Lava Hound, so maybe it might need a buff soon, but anyway, it's heading towards our left tower right now. And I'm going to teach you guys how to defend one of your towers while pushing the opposite lane. At first it can seem like a pretty tricky thing to do, but as you can see right here in my left lane, I have the Ice Wizard and my own minions dealing with his minions and his Lava Hound. At the same time, I dropped my Hog Rider and Goblins on his right lane. He had to drop a cannon and a zap just to get rid of those troops right there. Obviously, I didn't make it towards his tower, but he did waste 5 elixir trying to defend that push, and those were less troops in my left lane behind that tanky Lava Hound. So this strategy is best to use against anybody using a Golem, or a Lava Hound in this case, or a Giant, Royal Giant, as long as they drop their troops in the back and you can tell that they're building up a massive push. You definitely want to distract them and start dropping troops in the opposite lane. So right here he dropped his Lava Hound in my left lane, and I countered those with some minions while pushing the right with my Hog Rider and Miner. I knew after dropping that Lava Hound he was pretty low on elixir, because I'm pretty sure that thing cost about 7 elixir, so I knew he was kind of dry. And then he threw some arrows to try to hit my minions, and he actually missed my minions. While all that was happening, my Hog Rider and my Miner managed to take out that right tower, and now we have a 1-0 crown lead. So that right there is proof in itself why you should push the opposite lane while trying to defend a big push at the same time. Of course, you don't want to completely ignore the push, but make sure you drop enough troops just to stop them in their place for a little bit while trying to put pressure on the other tower. It kind of makes your opponent freak out for a little bit, panic, and drop some stuff he probably shouldn't, and it really just makes him waste elixir, and that is elixir that's not going to be backed up behind that push. Not only is it a great way to take a tower while someone is focused on one of yours, but it's also a way just to defuse a push and make your opponent freak out while dropping troops on the opposite lane. So right here, I sent the Hog Rider and my Miner at that King Tower with some minions in behind, and my opponent did send his Lava Hound at my left lane again, but I'm going to go ahead and ignore that for now, because right now I am focused on this 3 crown and we have a lot of troops over there on his King Tower. Once I realized my troops are dying out over there, I went ahead and dropped my Ice Wizard on that Lava Hound and my minions to take him out. He did drop a poison spell which might take out my Ice Wizard, but in the meantime I'm going to go ahead and set my Miner at that King Tower and then fireball those barbarians as well as the tower. So now that tower is at 88 hit points, it's not quite low enough to finish off with my zap, so I'm going to have to go ahead and either send my Hog Rider at it or just cycle back to my fireball. But at this point we obviously have the 3 crown because we still have 30 seconds left to get to that tower, and I just thought this was a really good raid to show you guys how to defend one lane and push the other at the exact same time. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense to you guys. The whole point is just to really distract them from one lane while they're trying to push it and make them freak out and waste elixir in the opposite lane. Like I mentioned earlier, this is best to do when your opponent is pushing with either a Golem, a Lava Hound, or a P.E.K.K.A, something like that, or even a Royal Giant or a Giant. Now that we've gone over the defend one lane and push the other lane tactic, here is another strategy I want to talk to you guys about. As you can see, I just went ahead and threw my Hog Rider and my Goblin at that left tower, dropping that tower to below 2,000 hit points. So now we have to figure out how to deal with this Ice Wizard heading towards our tower. He doesn't cause that much of a threat, but he does drop his Hog Rider on the bridge, and now we have to counter that with our Barbarians. His Miner is also coming in as well, so I'm going to drop my minions in the back just to make sure he does minimal damage back there. And then our troops will come forward and take out that Ice Wizard. Now we have a decent push coming towards the left lane right here, so I'm going to go ahead and send my Miner behind his left tower just to distract that for a minute, while the rest of my troops can run up and hopefully do a little bit of damage. He does counter my push with a Valkyrie, however, which is a really smart move, because the Valkyrie is great at taking out splash damage, but it didn't quite finish off our Barbarians, and I did zap those Spear Goblins he tried to stop my Miner with. So this Ice Wizard does do a pretty good job at taking out our Barbarians, but we do drop the tower to 300 hit points. But now this leads us into tip number 2 for this video. When you have a tower that low and you know you can take it out with a fireball or your Miner or a zap or arrows or any sort of direct damage like that, you always want to wait until you absolutely need to. As of right now, we still have 2 minutes left in the game. He hasn't touched either of my towers, and I can take out that tower whenever I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and send my Hog Rider and Goblins at that right tower, because if I would have sent that at the left tower, that would have been an absolute overkill and just a waste of elixir. I also get that fireball in there to do some damage on that tower and take out those Barbarians. So now that tower is down to 1700 hit points, and another benefit of waiting to take out that tower is you never want to activate the King Tower. Unless you're using a Royal Giant, there really is no point in taking out one tower if you really don't need to. You don't need to waste a fireball in the middle of a game if the tower is at like 70 or 100 hit points, because then that just activates the King Tower and makes it a bit more difficult for you to take out the remaining tower. I've been doing this for a while, so it seems pretty obvious to me, but I have seen a lot of people messing this up. They go crazy on the tower and absolutely overkill it just because it's pretty low on hit points, points and they want to take it out. But unless the enemy is absolutely demolishing you and you're about to run out of time, there really isn't any point in rushing to take out that tower. So right here we have 60 seconds left and we're now entering into a double elixir. The tower on the left is still standing, and Ice Wizard from earlier knocked the health down a little bit more. And now I'm waiting for this Valkyrie to get taken out to drop down my Hog Rider and Goblins. So now we have a huge push coming at this tower once again, with minions and Ice Wizard in the back. I dropped that Fireball right there and zap those Spear Goblins. The Hog Rider gets a few shots in and that tower almost goes down. But it is still standing at 500 hit points, and now it looks like I can almost take 2 towers. So now I went ahead and sent my miner at that right tower used to do a little bit of more damage, but he is trying to push my right tower right here with a Valkyrie and that Hog Rider. He also sends a miner, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my Barbarians right here used to counter that whole push. But at this point in the raid, I've gotten both towers down extremely low in hit points, and now I can take out either one with either a Hog Rider or my miner or a Fireball. Right here, I dropped my Hog Rider to go for that left tower with Goblins in behind, just to distract those Barbarians that I knew were coming. So we finally get that left tower taken down for a 1-0 lead. And now with the last few seconds, I'm going to go ahead and send my miner at that right tower, get my zap ready, and with a few seconds left, we go ahead and take out the second tower as well. I think that tip right there is a little bit more easy to understand and actually follow through in the game with, because if you really think about it, you don't want to take out a tower if you know you can whenever you want, and making sure that King Tower isn't activated while you're trying to push the second tower does help out a lot. Hopefully those tips and tricks made sense to you guys and you can use them in your future Clash Royale battles. So let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about those strategies right there. I will try to help out if I see anybody asking questions. And if you enjoyed today's video or you learned something new today, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's going to be it for me today. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you next time.
Don't let me